Alright guys, welcome back to another one. Today we're going to be taking a look at the hidden debug menu in the original version of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. I had no idea this existed up until a couple of days ago upon doing a little bit of comm research, but Square Enix actually left the menu in the game across all three regional versions of comm within the US, JP, and EU version. Now, it's not accessible via normal means. You will have to use a codebreaker code in order to activate it. What's interesting here is the EU version has a few more options within its debug menu compared to the US or JP version. So because of that, we're going to be using the EU version here. After putting in the codebreaker code, starting a new game will now display the ending Riku cutscene. And once that cutscene is finished, the debug menu will now pop up. There's a bunch of different options here that Square Enix devs once used to develop Chain of Memories. Selecting main will simply just reset the game. The object section allows you to view any of the assets and the respective animations throughout the entire game. This is actually quite a handy resource for anyone that's wanting a specific animation for whatever reason or asset to view. The map section is probably the most interesting part of this menu. It allows you to warp to any map or area in the game. You can choose what mode you want to use. Debug allows you to warp into a map with some debug options like disabling assets or enemies or activating a free cam mode. You can select what world palette you want, but the coolest option here is actually having direct control over the layout of the map you warp to. This is almost like a map generator. You can customize the map's layout via height, width, and depth. However, there are minimum and maximum values to these. But the cool thing is, you can end up generating a map that is way larger than any of the maps you actually get to explore throughout the game. You should know that the maps in Chain of Memories are randomly generated based on the room card that you use at a door. This is kind of like looking at the numbers behind the scene. The game will randomly generate a bunch of these different values to determine the layout of the room that you enter into. So this gives you direct access towards what type of a map you want to spawn. The effects section allows you to view any of the visual effects in the game. Sound section is pretty self-explanatory. It's a library of all of the sounds in the game. The event section is basically a theater mode. It allows you to view any of the cutscenes. next section sends you straight into the multiplayer menu. Yes, for those unaware, there was a multiplayer component for the original COM, allowing you to locally connect with another person playing the game in a battle mode. So COM was actually the very first Kingdom Hearts game to do a multiplayer mode. The battle section lets you warp into fights with specific enemy groups from worlds or certain boss fights. You can also adjust the enemy's health as well. What's cool about this is you can even verse some of the Riku exclusive fights as Sora. For some reason there is a Pooh option here. Selecting this will send you straight into the 100 Acre Wood at the beginning of the world where you have to escort Pooh. No doubt this is here for testing purposes on the 100 Acre Wood and its mini games. Flag is your classic cheat menu, allowing you to activate things like invincibility, unlocking all battle and map cards, unlocking all abilities, achieving max level. The logo section here is a basic world logo cutscene viewer. The movie section allows you to view the 5 different CG cutscenes that are in the game. End roll is a basic credits viewer. Language is pretty self-explanatory. It allows you to select the game's language. The journal section gives you access to a complete version of Jiminy's journal. World Select will throw you into Castle Oblivion, where you can access all of the worlds in the game. And the last option here is Continue, which simply just throws you into a death screen. If you press Continue, it'll simply just send you to Castle Oblivion, where you can access the World Select once again. Though, weirdly enough, the text box here is all bugged. This also served as a reminder as to just how cursed this theme sounds in the GBA version of COM. It sounds like it belongs in a PlayStation 1 horror game. So that's the rundown on the Chain of Memories debug menu. It's really surprising that out of the 10 plus years of me doing Kingdom Hearts research, I have never once stumbled across this. It's existed for an incredibly long time. It's always remained within the files of Chain of Memories. It just simply requires a codebreaker code in order to access it. If you guys want to play around with this for yourself, I'll leave the codes in the description down below. All it requires is to play COM on an emulator like mGBA. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. Be sure to slippity slap that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. A big thank you to my wonderful patrons and YouTube members. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.